Hey, welcome to the 10th episode of 3 Takeaways, our agency new business video series, where we focus on one new business category and we give you 3 takeaways to help improve your business program. I'm Lee McKnight Jr., I'm the VP of Sales at RSWUS, and kicking things off, a question has come up a fair amount from agencies, whether it be our clients or agencies we're talking to, thinking about coming on board. They're asking, should we list our capabilities or our services on the prime real estate of our site, kind of above the fold or around there? And more specifically, they also ask in our work or case studies section, should we group our work by services rather than category? Well, the initial kind of general answer is you should definitely talk your services somewhere on your site. But the question of where is critically important. So first, let's get one important piece out of the way. If you're a horizontally positioned firm, let's say you're a content creation firm that cuts across multiple verticals, which we talk about incidentally in episode 5 of our series. If that's the case, this video doesn't apply as directly to you because your service, is the focal point. Still, there are some tips you'll want to see, so don't leave us yet. What we see with agency sites, quite often, obviously, it's your homepage, you've got your name, you've got your brief description, corresponding image or images. And then what we see a lot of in the immediate scroll down, it'll look like a variation of this. So where, as you see, it lays out the capes, media, planning, strategy, design, etc. And then aesthetically and structurally, I'd say there's nothing wrong with that on its face, but think about it, is that the first thing that you want prospects seeing? Now, I completely understand the desire to put services more or less front and center. So it's quite clear, what you do, what you provide. And while I understand it, you actually shouldn't do it. Not that quickly anyway. So probably saying, okay, Lee, then how should it be organized? Well, I'll get to that. But for today's 3 takeaways, I want to get into the reasons why you shouldn't list those services up front first. So first takeaway, why you shouldn't lead with services on your site. A lot of you watching have a service offering that's not, easily explained, within that site's prime real estate. And it might actually undermine a prospect's understanding if you try to put all that in that space. And if a prospect doesn't get you or your offering, that is obviously a problem. Which leads right into the second takeaway, which is this, you have a very limited amount of time to capture and keep your prospect's attention. And your site immediately paints a picture of the agency. So conversely to the first takeaway I gave you, many of you watching, you've got a clear and understandable suite of services, but you have quite a few of those services. And putting them all on a page, with no real context up front or very little as to your expertise, really does you no favors. It's not going to be helpful. And so that piggybacks onto the final takeaway. Listing all your services, especially as one of the first things a prospect sees, it makes you look like every other firm that has similar services. And let's face it, there's a lot of those. It could even commoditize your offering in the prospect's eyes. So what should you do? Well, I don't need to tell you, we're in the service business. We actually had a client say recently, it's like selling pixie dust, as far as new business. It's hard to differentiate your firm from the competition. But instead of that list of services up front, replace it with the business problems you solve. Specifically for what companies and in what verticals. And that should be 2 to 3 short paragraphs to start. You don't want to have a ton of copy very early on your site to wade through. And by doing that, you establish expertise right up front, and then you can follow with the services that back up your expertise. And I did mention a second question in the beginning as to worker case studies in that section. Should it be grouped by service rather than category? So the answer is you can and you probably should do both, but lead with category first, ideally. Obviously there's a lot of ways to accomplish that from a site design standpoint, but don't characterize your work by service only, because it doesn't have the impact that it should. So thanks for watching the 10th episode of 3 Takeaways. Appreciate the subscribers so far. Got a lot of great content on our resources page at the URL you see below. And visit rswus.com if you're interested in our new business programs for agencies. And here is where you can subscribe to our channel. Always appreciate any likes you can throw our way on this video. So thanks, and I'll see you next time.